In 1951, organizers got nervous. Ferrari was getting fast enough that people worried they'd start winning by embarrassing margins. So the sport changed its own rules, specifically to stop that from happening. It backfired completely. This is 1952. The year a rule change designed to create more competition instead produced the most one-sided championship in the sport's history. 10 minutes every season. Let's go. Quick recap. Last season, the team that had dominated the sport's first 2 years pulled out entirely. Building a competitive new car was too expensive, so they just left. That left organizers staring at a season where basically one team, Ferrari, might be the only serious contender left standing. Worried about empty grids and boring races, they made a drastic call. This year's championship wouldn't run under the sport's own top-tier rules at all. It would run under a smaller, cheaper formula instead, hoping that would bring in more teams and closer racing. Here's the problem with that plan. Ferrari didn't just adapt to the new rules, they'd basically already built for them. They rolled out a car specifically designed for this smaller formula, with a new 4-cylinder engine, and they were the only major team that showed up with something purpose-built for it. Everyone else was still scrambling, so a rule change meant to level the field, instead handed the one team that prepared for it a season-long head start. And then the defending champion season fell apart before it even started. With his usual team gone, the reigning champion signed elsewhere. But that new team's car wasn't ready in time for the opening race. Trying to salvage some form, he agreed to race at Monza in a non-championship event. The problem, he'd just finished another race in Northern Ireland the day before, and had to drive through the night to get there, arriving with barely half an hour to spare and effectively no sleep. Exhausted, he crashed on the second lap, broke his neck, and his season was over before the championship had even really begun. Round 1, and Ferrari's usual number 1 driver isn't even here. He's off preparing for the Indianapolis 500 instead. So it's his teammate who takes the win, the only championship Grand Prix victory of his entire career. Ferrari still finishes 1-2. Even missing their best driver, nobody else is close. Round 2, and for the only time in the team's history, Ferrari actually enters a car at Indianapolis. It doesn't go well. A wheel problem ends the run early. The race gets won by a 22-year-old American driver, the youngest winner in the event's history. At that point, completely disconnected from the European Championship battle, same as every year. Round 3, and Ferrari's actual number 1 driver is finally back. He takes pole, leads basically every lap, and wins comfortably. With his teammate second, this is the start of a run that's about to get a little ridiculous. Round 4, and Ferrari doesn't just win, they take the entire podium. First, second, and third, all Ferrari. At this point, it's less a championship and more a procession. Rounds 5, 6, and 7, and it just keeps going. Britain, another win, well clear of everyone else. Germany, a win from pole, leading every single lap. Then the Netherlands, making its championship debut this year. And by every account of his season, he made it 6 wins in a row there too. By this point, Ferrari's number 1 driver has won every championship round he's actually finished. Nobody else has come remotely close all season. Final round, at Monza, in front of the home crowd. He wins again, his 6th win from the 6 championship rounds he's actually finished all year, and becomes Ferrari's first ever world champion and the first Italian driver to win the title. By most accounts, he'd already done enough to win the championship before this race even started. Monza just made it official and gave the home fans a win to celebrate it with. So the rule change meant to stop Ferrari from running away with things produced the exact opposite. Arguably, the most dominant single season in the sport's history to that point. And the defending champion, sidelined by a crash before the season even got going, would come back the following year and start winning again like nothing had happened. That's 1952, the season a rule change backfired spectacularly. Next time, 1953, where the streak keeps going, and the champion who missed this whole season comes back for a real fight. Subscribe for a new season every week.